We have a number of key members of the congregation who can no longer come to church because of the accessibility issue.
The leadership of the church, and specifically I know the vestry and the subcommittee, we're taking a look at what are the barriers, where are the gaps in our current church or congregation, what are our needs, and this came up as a priority, and I think it does affect every parishioner here or even our guests. So our doors should be open and our place should feel welcoming to all.
One thing I didn't realize was the difficulty in getting from church to the coffee hour, because you come down the lift and you go outside and walk down the sidewalk and then in the door of that goes to the community room. And meanwhile, while you're walking down, an usher comes from church or somebody to unlock the door so you can get in and come to coffee hour. It's a little complicated, and I didn't realize that before. And of course we have Michigan weather that's not very good all the time.
There will be a centrally located bathroom that is large enough to accommodate a wheelchair. We do not have a bathroom that will accommodate a wheelchair, even if they could get to the bathroom.
When the vestry gave us the responsibility to come up with a feasible and economical solution to making our church facility more welcoming and more accessible to all parishioners, we got together a very good group of people from the parish and some outside consultants to come up with what would be the most cost-effective way to make this happen. I'd really like to thank people on our task force: Bernie Jones, Tom Lines, Ellen Redfield, Barb Ilka, and Jeff N. Dean, who put a lot of time and effort into coming up with ideas, getting ideas from others in the parish, and it's a very economical and cost-effective plan. We addressed cheaper ideas, such as exterior ramps, but we felt that didn't get our people out of the elements in our tremendous Michigan weather here, and we also investigated some much more expensive ideas, such as building additions to house a lift at the other end of the church, but we didn't feel that we had enough money to make that happen. The most cost-effective plan that we came up with involved an indoor direct route from the community room right into the church sanctuary. And what we will be doing will be going through a new set of doors, which are near the closet doors at the end of the community room, and entering a little vestibule that will lead either to a stairway right up to the church, or, if need be, into a barrier-free lift. The new lift will have larger capacity and size than our existing lift, so that it can carry an Amigo type or an additional person alongside a standard wheelchair. For people who need to use a lift, this will be much more welcoming than having to go outside in the Michigan elements and enter the lift at the other end of the church to get to and from the community room. This will also be a much more direct route for all parishioners, and instead of going up through the existing door here and up these stairs and right through the chapel and right through the sacristy into the church, they will be able to go again directly from the community room up these stairs into the church sanctuary. One additional benefit of this is the chapel will then not be part of a main thoroughfare and will be a much more private chapel that can be used to get away, and especially helpful during funerals for families who may be having a visitation up at this end of the church and able to get away into the chapel. The other main addition of this plan is a new barrier-free restroom. And this restroom will be right here in this, right off the community room, very easily accessible from the church and from the community room. It will be barrier-free, which we currently do not have a true barrier-free restroom in the church. This area is available to be our barrier-free restroom because it will no longer be a thoroughfare to the chapel or the church sanctuary.
It's just a matter of coming down the stairs or using the lift, and they will be right here. It's not going down to the basement, it's not going all the way across the community room. it will be right here.
Another benefit of this plan is it provides a main entry to the church facility. We've never really had a main entry. We've had multiple entries, which makes not only security, but also greeting and community building a tough chore for people who are visiting the church or for all our parishioners who would like to gather in one space.
Think how much more welcoming it would be for everybody to come into the community room first and be able to go either up the stairs or up a lift right into the church, and for the worship service, and then after the service to come back down and be right in the community room.
A new main entry will be established right in the wall of the community room, directly from the garden. This will be easily identified as a main entrance to our church facilities and will allow entry into the community room and then directly into the church sanctuary or the church offices. The location of the new doors to the direct entrance to the church from the community room will be right through this wall. The entrance to the new barrier-free restroom will be right through the door over here, and the new main entrance to our facilities will be right here between those two windows. Because the new main entrance to the church is now at the west end, behind where the altar is now, the new altar location will be at the east end of the church. Although we realize this represents a significant change, we were very overjoyed to hear how many people supported this change because of the benefits of making our church much more accessible. And there are a lot of other benefits.
As a young mom, or a mom of young children, Allie and Mia, almost 4 and almost 1 now, there are many times where we need to exit gracefully and quietly, and right now it is a bit of a barrier to walk right by the sermon, and you don't want to interrupt the flow of the service or interrupt the ability of people to worship in quiet. So I think as a mom and for young kids, it will be a great welcome to be able to just kind of exit and enter graciously to accommodate those kinds of times where you need to do that.
When you look at the effect that it's going to have, it's really going to integrate and unify the church in just a fantastic way. It's
neat because earlier in the summer, they actually kind of tried out this turning around. And if you think about it in spiritual terms, that's what God asks us to do, to take where we are right now and turn around and orient ourselves to Him. And so I think really turning the church around can be symbolic of that, and really facing the beautiful, the stunning stained glass window. I think there's a spiritual element to seeing the light coming through and seeing God kind of enter the building in our hearts.
It's a wonderful thing to have something concrete that you can point to and say, we did this for the Lord and for His people.
We cannot reach out and spread the gospel, spread the word about Jesus and about Christ, about God, until we can bring people to where they can hear it. The whole point of this project is to help everyone, to welcome people as we work to care, share, worship, celebrate, and love in God's name.